Have you ever wondered whether you should take your amlodipine pill in the morning or at night? It sounds like a small detail, but here is the surprising truth. The time of day you take this medicine may change how well it protects your heart and how uncomfortable the side effects become. One major European study even suggested that taking blood pressure medicine at night could reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke by nearly 45%. That sounds dramatic, but is it really true for amlodipine? And if it is, why don't all doctors agree on one best time? That is exactly what we will break down in this video. Amlodipine is one of the most widely prescribed blood pressure medicines in the world. Doctors use it to treat high blood pressure and chest pain. For many people, it becomes a lifelong prescription. But the question of when to take it, morning or night, confuses patients everywhere. In this video, you will learn how amlodipine works inside your body. You will see what really happens if you take it in the morning. You will see what changes when you take it at night. And finally, you will hear what major health organizations and doctors actually recommend for everyday patients. Before we dive in, an important reminder. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. Never start, stop, or change the time you take your medication without first speaking to your own doctor. Amlodipine belongs to a group of medicines called calcium channel blockers. The name sounds technical, but the idea is simple. Calcium is what allows the muscles in your arteries to tighten. When calcium enters those cells, the blood vessels squeeze and the pressure inside goes up. Amlodipine blocks that calcium from getting in. The arteries stay relaxed. Blood can move more easily. The heart does not have to work as hard. That is why doctors often prescribe it for both high blood pressure and chest pain. Now, here is the part that really matters for our topic today. Amlodipine is a very long-acting medicine. After you swallow a single dose, the drug does not disappear quickly. Its half-life is around 30 to 50 hours. That means the concentration in your body drops only by half every 30 to 50 hours. Why is this important? Because it explains why you only need to take it once a day. The effect is spread out and lasts through the day and into the night. No matter when you take it, the pill is still working for a long time. This also explains why the debate about morning versus night is not as simple as with some other blood pressure drugs. For medicines that wear off in just a few hours, the timing is critical. But with amlodipine, the long half-life gives flexibility. Still, there are differences. Some people notice side effects, like swollen ankles, if they take it later in the day. Others have blood pressure patterns that make nighttime dosing look more attractive. The drug allows for both approaches, but the details depend on you, your body, and your doctor's plan. And that brings us to the next question. What actually happens if you take amlodipine in the morning? For most people, this is the most common option. Doctors often tell patients to start their day with the pill, usually with breakfast or with a glass of water. The first big advantage is convenience. Morning dosing makes it easier to build a habit. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you take your pill. When a medicine has to be taken every day for years, habit is everything. Missing doses is one of the biggest reasons blood pressure stays high even when treatment is prescribed. The second advantage is that morning dosing reduces the chance that side effects will disturb your sleep. One of the most common side effects of amlodipine is ankle swelling. For many patients, that swelling gets worse in the evening, after standing or walking all day. If the pill is taken at night, the peak effect can overlap with the time when your legs already hold extra fluid. The result can be even more swelling by bedtime. Taking it in the morning helps to spread that risk out during the day. Another issue is sleep itself. Some people find that amlodipine makes them feel flushed or lightheaded in the hours after taking it. If this happens at night, it can interfere with falling asleep. If it happens in the morning, it usually fades as you go about your day. Morning dosing also fits better if you are already taking other medications at night. For example, some patients take statins for cholesterol before bed. Splitting amlodipine to the morning avoids confusion and keeps the routine simpler. There is also the matter of blood pressure patterns. Most people have the highest readings during the day when they are active and under stress. Taking amlodipine in the morning ensures that the drug is at full strength during those hours of activity. For many patients, that is exactly what is needed. Of course, there are exceptions. Not everyone responds in the same way. Some patients still have high morning blood pressure even when they take amlodipine in the morning. For those people, the evening dose may work better. We will cover that in the next section. For now, the key message is this: morning dosing is safe, effective, and for many people, the easiest way to stay consistent. But it is not the only option, and it may not be the best choice for every patient. Now, let's look at the other side. What happens if you take amlodipine at night? For many patients, this idea sounds unusual at first. Most people are used to taking blood pressure medicine in the morning, but there is a growing interest in what doctors call chronotherapy. That means adjusting the time you take your pill to match your body's natural rhythm. One of the largest studies on this topic came from Spain. It is called the Hygia Trial, published in the European Heart Journal. In 2019, it followed more than 19,000 patients with high blood pressure. The results were striking. People who took their blood pressure medicines at night had lower rates of heart attack, stroke, and heart failure. The risk reduction was reported to be as high as 45%. That number created headlines all around the world. Many patients asked their doctors, "Should I take my pill at bedtime?" The answer is complicated. The Hygia trial included many different blood pressure drugs, not just amlodipine. Some scientists also questioned the methods and said more studies are needed before making a universal rule. Still, there are reasons why bedtime dosing can make sense for certain patients. Blood pressure normally dips at night. In some people, it does not. This is called non-dipping hypertension. These patients stay at higher risk for heart attack and stroke in the early morning hours. Taking amlodipine at night may help lower blood pressure during sleep and protect against that early morning surge. Another possible benefit is smoother control across the full 24 hours. For people who take it in the morning but still have high readings at night, switching to bedtime can help, but there are also downsides. Amlodipine can cause ankle swelling. If you take it at night, the peak effect can overlap with the hours when your legs already hold fluid from the day. That may make swelling worse. Bedtime dosing can also be inconvenient if you already take several other medicines in the morning. And let's not forget sleep itself. Some people feel flushed or notice a warm sensation when the pill starts working. If that happens right before bed, it can disturb sleep. So, bedtime dosing is not automatically better. It can be very useful for patients with nighttime hypertension or those whose blood pressure remains high in the early morning. But for others, the side effects or the inconvenience outweigh the potential benefits. The bottom line is this: night dosing is an option, but it is not the answer for everyone. That is why the guidance from doctors matters so much. And we will explore that in the next section. So, after looking at both options, what do doctors actually recommend? The truth is, there is no single rule that fits everyone. Official guidelines emphasize one principle above all others: consistency. The National Health Service in the United Kingdom states clearly, you can take amlodipine at any time of day, morning or evening. The important part is that you take it at the same time, every day. That way, the medicine level in your blood remains stable. The Mayo Clinic says the same thing. It does not matter if you take it with breakfast or before bed. What matters is making it part of your daily routine, so you do not forget. The American Heart Association and the European Society of Cardiology add another point. Chronotherapy is interesting, and some studies show promise for night dosing. But more research is needed before making it the default recommendation for all patients. So, how do doctors decide? In real life, they look at the individual patient. If your blood pressure tends to spike in the morning, your doctor may suggest bedtime dosing. If you often have swollen ankles or trouble sleeping, morning may be safer. If you are taking multiple medicines, They may separate them into morning and evening to avoid confusion. This personalized approach is important because side effects are not the same for everyone. One patient may tolerate bedtime dosing with no problem. Another may find it miserable. Another factor is adherence. Doctors know that missing doses is far more dangerous than choosing the wrong time of day. A pill that is not taken does nothing to protect your heart, so they will usually recommend the time that best matches your lifestyle and your habits. That means you should not feel pressured. If you read headlines about studies or hear advice from friends, what works for one person may not be right for another. The safest plan is the one made between you and your doctor. So the professional advice is clear. Morning or night can both work. What matters most is stability, consistency, and tailoring the schedule to your own needs. Let's turn this into practical advice you can use every day. The first tip is simple. Choose a time that you can remember. If you are more consistent in the morning, then take it with breakfast. If you never forget your pills at night, before brushing your teeth, then take it at bedtime. The best time is the time you will not miss. The second tip is to pay attention to your body. If you notice ankle swelling or puffiness in your feet, and you are taking the pill at night, ask your doctor whether a morning schedule could help. On the other hand, if your blood pressure readings in the morning are still high, even with treatment, discuss whether moving the pill to the evening might make sense. The third tip is to keep track of your blood pressure at home. Many patients only see readings at the clinic, but home measurements tell the real story. Write them down or use a digital monitor that stores the results. This information will help your doctor decide if morning or evening is better for you. The fourth tip is to use reminders. Even the best medicine does not work if you forget to take it. Set an alarm on your phone. Use a pill box that has separate compartments for each day. Keep the pill in a place you always look at, like next to your toothbrush or coffee maker. The fifth tip is to think about your other medicines. If you already take a cholesterol pill or a sleep medicine at night, it may be easier to take amlodipine in the morning. If you take diuretics in the morning, it may be easier to separate amlodipine to the evening. Keeping a balance avoids pill overload at one time of day. And finally, the most important tip of all, never change your schedule on your own. Always check with your doctor before moving the time of your pill. What sounds like a small change can make a big difference for your blood pressure and your side effects. So, what have we learned? Amlodipine is a long-acting medicine. Its half-life is 30 to 50 hours. That means it works through the entire day and night. Because of that, both morning and evening dosing can be effective. Taking it in the morning can reduce problems with swelling and may fit more easily into daily routines. Taking it at night may help some patients with high morning blood pressure or those with non-dipping patterns. But no matter what you choose, the most important thing is consistency. Taking the pill at the same time every day keeps the level steady and protects your heart. That is why major health organizations, such as the NHS and Mayo Clinic, say the timing matters less than building a routine you can follow. Remember, the best time is the time that works for your body and your doctor's plan. What works for your neighbor may not work for you. Always make changes with medical guidance. For full references, check the links in the video description. You will find sources from the NHS, Mayo Clinic, the FDA, and the European Heart Journal. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe to MedDose Explained for more clear and reliable information about the medicines you take every day. And now, let us hear from you. Do you take amlodipine in the morning or at night? Share your experience in the comments. Your story may help someone else who is watching today. And before you go, watch our video on things to avoid while taking amlodipine. It will give you more practical tips to stay safe and get the best results from your treatment.